before I was ever old enough to be trusted with a curling iron, I had a jerry curl. Perhaps you're familiar, jerry curls are this watery, crimpy perm that kind of drip. Maybe there are non-Black people who have jerry curls, but as far as I was concerned, jerry curls were Black people hair. In fact, at my elementary school, almost all of the Black kids had a jerry curl. Now granted, at my elementary school, 3 of the 4 Black kids were me, my big sister, and my little sister. Basically, everybody at school was white. My teachers were white, the principal was white, the lunch ladies and bus drivers and janitors were all white. And I always knew that I was Black. I always knew that we were different. All through elementary school, my mom had an Afro. And at that time, her Afro also dripped, just like my jerry curl, because she had a jerry curl as well. So despite the fact that all of the white girls at school had this like flouncy, bouncy, soft hair, I took my mom's drip as indication that I was doing my hair and Blackness exactly the way that those two things are meant to be done. But truly, I never loved my jerry curl. And by the time I was in high school, I had started to chemically straighten and process my hair with a relaxer. And my mom started to refer to me as retro because I would wear all of her old clothing, and also because I was wearing my hair with this like curled out lip at the bottom that I would create with this wide barrel curling iron that was similar to the way that women used to wear their hair in the 60s and 70s. Or rather, it was similar to the way that white women used to wear their hair in the 60s and 70s. My mom moved to the United States in 1969, which was the height of the Black Panther Party movement. The women of the Panther Party wore their hair in afros, which are these like round, sculptural, hard crowns, and afros are basically the very definition of Black hair. They are poised but not tame. They grow out and not down. They are loud and they take up space. They make a statement about Black beauty, even if the woman wearing them is saying nothing. My mom was not a member of the Black Panther Party. She is a very quiet woman, and she doesn't like conflict. She doesn't like to cause a scene or create a stir, and if she's not speaking in a room, she can very easily be mistaken for being silent. But I have to imagine that my mom's hairstyle was indeed intentional because Black hair takes so much time. When I was a kid, me and my sisters and my mom used to, every couple of weekends, wake up super, super early and head out to go and get our hair done. Now, at a Black salon, you want the earliest appointment time possible because the time that your appointment is the time that you arrive at the salon and start to wait. Sometimes it was hours before my name would be called, but once it was, I would climb into the chair and begin the process of paint. The stylist would part my hair into sections, and then she would begin to apply this thick, chemically mayonnaise-like substance to my hair, starting off in the midsection of each fistful of hair, and then she would slowly work her way towards the tips. She would take her time so that the chemical could fully get into and treat every last strand of hair on my head, and she would save the scalp for last. Because once that chemical hits your scalp, it works its way all the way around the root, and then the burning starts. And you have to let it burn for a while, but don't be a baby about it because only babies are tender-headed. Once it's been burning for long enough, they'll eventually rinse it out, take you over to the shower beds to rinse it out, and then you get underneath the dryer. That's why Black salons are so hot all of the time, because of all of those dryers running all the time. All that time spent under the dryer in an effort to have hair that is submissive, hair that can be tamed further with a curling iron, hair that is beautiful like everybody else's hair. Everybody, that is, except for my mom. My mom continued to wear an afro, teaching me very silently about Black beauty up until the 1990s, when chemo took her hair away. I can remember sitting with her in her bathroom as she looked at her reflection in the mirror, a reflection that no longer resembled the double-breasted, fully crowned woman that she used to see there. And I remember talking to her about accepting the chemo and accepting the fact that she was losing her hair. It would be a much nicer narrative if I could tell you that it was in that moment that I decided to cut off my chemically processed hair and grow my own natural afro like an homage to my mother who was losing her crown, but that's not what happened for me. For most Black women, the decision to go natural is one that takes a lot of time, sometimes weeks, months, years, cultivating new growth and thinking about what it's going to be like to look so different. Not just different from how we used to look, but different from what we've been taught that beautiful looks like. Beautiful hair like on the TV screens and in movies that bounces and flounces and blows in the wind. Because nappy doesn't move like that, and the decision to go natural is letting go of that dream. But for me, that's not really what it was like either, because my decision to go natural happened over the course of a single weekend. I had an appointment to spend at least 12 hours sitting in a chair, having synthetic hair woven into my head tightly and painfully. And I decided that I was all done with wasting that time and expending all of that pain. Sure, I was letting go of the dream of having white girl hair, but I always knew that we were different. I always knew that we were Black, and I always knew that Black hair is beautiful. Thank you.